It feels like we're living in an era where trust in institutions is collapsing. Scandals involving powerful figures, like the case of Jeffrey Epstein, didn't just expose criminal behavior, they exposed something deeper: the perception that the elites operate by a different set of rules than the rest of us. When powerful people are protected, when investigations feel incomplete, or when accountability seems selective, something shifts in the public psyche. People stop merely disliking their government, they begin to distrust it. And there's a difference. Take taxes as an example. Many people don't like paying them, but historically, citizens tolerated taxes when they believed their leaders were being transparent about why the money was needed and where it was going. You see, the problem isn't always the policy itself, it's the disconnect. When people believe their money, their voice no longer influence outcomes, resentment grows. And resentment is far more dangerous than disagreement. What we may be witnessing isn't just political division, it's a slow erosion of institutional credibility. When trust erodes long enough, frustration doesn't stay quiet. It shows up in protests, sometimes peaceful, sometimes destructive. Take, for example, the events of the January 6th Capitol attack and the Black Lives Matter movement were very different in cause and ideology, but both were fueled by a shared belief that the government was failing them. When people across the political spectrum feel unheard, they begin to believe the system is not just flawed, but rigged. History shows that when governments grow in size and power without maintaining transparency, public patience thins. People may start by debating, then protesting, and eventually some may justify force. This is where resentment becomes combustible. Add to that perception, politicians often enter office with modest wealth and leave significantly richer. Whether the explanations involve investments, book deals, influence, the optics matter. If leaders appear to benefit personally while citizens struggle, trust collapses further. Even if corruption isn't universal, the perception of self-interest is enough to poison confidence. Once people believe rules only apply to them and not to people in power, unity fractures. So the real question isn't whether trust is low, it's whether it can be revived. Trust in institutions isn't restored in speeches, it's restored through consistent transparency, visible accountability, and leaders who demonstrate that public service is truly service, not self-enrichment. People don't expect perfection. However, they do expect fairness. When leaders are truthful about difficult decisions, citizens may disagree, but they can still respect the process. Respect disappears when people feel manipulated or sacrificed for self-interest. What rebuilding trust would look like for me is stronger transparency laws, clear financial accountability for public officials, equal application of justice, regardless of status, leaders willing to prioritize long-term stability over short-term power. The divide between the haves and the have-nots grows wider when citizens believe leadership serves itself first. That perception, whether fully accurate or partially, breeds resentment. And resentment, left unaddressed, breeds instability. The future depends on whether institutions can prove they still work for the people, not above them. So, in conclusion, this isn't whether just leaders are capable, it's whether they are willing to put the public first.